So in the last class, we were discussing about strings, where we have learned like what kind of operation that can be performed in strings and how the values or how the characters get stored in string. Okay. So in today's class, what we'll do is today we'll be exploring some sort of the functions of the string, as well as we'll be exploring the slicing mechanism along with the negative indexing of strings. Okay. So in detail, in short, what we'll do is we'll be exploring the strings in a much more detailed manner. Okay. So yes, in the last class, I've already discussed that strings, what they do, they store the value in some sort of indexes, like you can see over here. We have positive indexes as well as we have negative indexes. For backward indexing, the indexing starts from -1 to -n. For example, if you have 6 characters, in that case, it will go to -n, that is 6, -6. Okay. So what if we need to perform some sort of operation like accessing the value with the help of negative index? So how can we access the values with the help of negative index? And let us try to explore that. After that, what we'll do is we'll try to reverse the existing string. यानी कि जो string हमारे पास है उसे reverse करने की कोशिश करेंगे. और क्या होता है जब हम out of range, यानी कि जो हमारे पास indexes है, let's say if we give 6 over here, या फिर 7 over here, then what kind of value we are supposed to get, okay, or what kind of error we are supposed to get, we'll try to explore. Okay. So yes, let us have a variable name and let us store our string. So in this case, I will store the name of a person, let's say Alex. Okay. And in the next line, what I need to do is I need to print the name. Okay. So यहाँ पर बढ़िया से name print हो जाएगा, भी होता है. So what if we give negative index? And let's say if I need to print the last character, so in that case I can give this -1 over here. So the moment I execute the code, you can see that the moment I pass -1, we get X over here, right? That means what? It is able to fetch the values with the help of negative indexes. So what if I need to reverse this entire string? Okay. So is there any mechanism to reverse the entire string? Okay. So in order to reverse the entire string, what we are going to do is we are going to use the slicing mechanism. But before that, what exactly slicing mechanism is? Okay. In strings, there is an operation. Please try to understand. In strings, there is an operation by selecting a specific range of values. Let's say Alex Saik here. Okay, Alex Saik. Okay. So what if I need to fetch the values of only SAI from this entire string? Okay, so this is the entire name. Now I need to fetch SAI. So how can I fetch SAI? Okay, first let us understand that what are the position of these individual characters. Okay, what are the position of these individual characters? So in order to understand it better, what I will do is I will simply open Excel and I will put it over there so that we can use the pictorial representation again and again while explaining the slicing operation. Okay. So how the values are going to get stored? 0. Let's bracket up here, and yes, fill the series. Okay. So yes, this way the values are going to get stored for this indexes, right? Okay. So this way the values are going to get stored, and these are going to be the indexes of this values. Okay. इसे थोड़ा सा highlight कर देते हैं so that we can understand. Okay. So we see that character A gets stored in the index 0, L gets stored in index 1, E gets stored in index 2, X3, the blank space is going to get stored in index 4, S5, A6, I7, K8, I9, again A10. Okay. So I wanted to print the values from index 5 to index 9. Are you getting the point? So SAI KIE में से इस region को मुझे print करना है, सिर्फ SCI को print करना है. I hope you are able to understand what I am saying. Okay. So I want the values of SCI. See SCI चाहिए. So how can I get the value SCI from the entire range? So in order to get the value SCI from this entire range, there is a mechanism called slicing. So we'll be using the slicing mechanism. So how to use that particular slicing mechanism? Okay. तो slicing mechanism को use करने से पहले हमें ये समझना जरूरी है कि यहाँ पर start value देंगे, column देंगे, फिर stop index देंगे. Just try to understand. First, what we need to do is we need to give the start index position, column, then the stop index position. I hope you are able to get it. The exact syntax of slicing is as follows. Okay. So yes, you will be using the variable which stores the value within square brackets, start index, column, stop index. Okay. For example, if I need to print SAI, in that case, what I will do is I will do the following. Please try to understand. I will use the name variable within square brackets. I will give the starting index. So the starting index is 5, column, then the stop index. Okay. So the stop index is going to be 7. Okay. But yes, do remember, stop index need to be incremented by 1 in order to get the value up to that particular character. Okay, in this case, if I need to print up to I need to give the stop index as 8. So why do I need to give the stop index as 8? Because it will start from 5 but stop before 8. So yes, if we stop before 8, that means it is going to print up to 7th index. Okay, so let us try to execute this so that we can understand it in a practical perspective. 5 कॉलन एक बार 7 देके देखते हैं, फिर देखते हैं आउटपुट में क्या आता है, SAI आता है कि नहीं. ठीक है, तो यहाँ पर देख पा रहे हो, you can see that we are getting only SA, we are not getting SAI. Okay, we are getting SA. Okay, so if we want SAI, so as I said, the values need to be, the stop value need to be incremented by 1. Okay, that means if you want to print up to index number 7, you need to give the stop index as 8. Okay, so here I will be giving the stop index as 8. So the moment I execute the code, you see that I'm getting the output to be as SAI. So yes, that's it for slicing. So this was all about slicing, where we have learned like how to perform the slicing mechanism and how to fetch the indexes with the help of negative index. Similarly, the same operation can also be done with the help of negative indexes. Okay, so how to do the slicing mechanism with the help of negative indexes? Let us try to understand. For example, this were the positive indexes for this entire string, right? For that means for this entire characters, for individual characters, we had this corresponding index values. Okay, we had this corresponding index values. But what if I need to perform the slicing with the help of negative index values? So is there any possible way to do that? Yes, there are possibilities to perform that. First, let us try to explore the negative indexes. Okay, so as I said, the negative indexing starts from 10. Okay, and sorry, this will start from -1 and go to n minus 1. Okay, so let's see if we can have this fill series. Okay, yes, so these are the negative index values we have. Okay, एक बार से highlight कर लेते ताकि तुम लोगों को समझ में आ जाए. Let's give it a green color. This shade looks good. Okay, great. So these are the negative indexes for this, right? So if we need to start from A and end at E, let's say ALE, L. Okay, so if we need to have ALE from this entire LX section, okay, so how to get ALE? So in that case, the start index will be -11 and the stop index will be, students please reply, if I need to start from -11, I need to stop at E, so the start index is -11 and the stop index will be
-8.
-8. Okay. Yes, we'll be giving -11 then -8. So the moment I execute the code, you see ALE come. Okay, we see ALE come, right? So what if I need to start from this point? Let's say -1, and if I need to give the stop index is -1, and I need to give the start index is -1 and stop index is -4, right?
-5.
Okay, मेरे को start index देना है -1. ठीक है, start index क्या देना है? -1 देना है. समझो इस कंसेप्ट को, ठीक है? और मुझे यहाँ तक लाना है. लेट्स से AIK
-4.
okay, just execute the code. You see nothing. Okay, so the reason is why do we get nothing? Let us try to understand it. Okay, तो क्यों मैंने जब start index में -1 दिया था और stop index में -4 दिया था, it should have worked, right? But why it is not working? What is the working principle behind the negative indexes? Negative index में जब हम लोगों ने दिया था -11 और -8, then it was working absolutely fine. But the moment we change the direction of the indexes, like the start index to be starting with the last value and the stop indexes to be starting with the let's say yes, succeeding value, in that case we got error. Okay, we sorry, we didn't get error, we didn't get any value. Why is it so? Let us try to understand. Okay. So whenever Python will start reading the indexes, or whenever Python will start reading the character for the corresponding indexes, it will generally start, or it will generally go in this position. ठीक है, समझ में आ रहा है? The scanner starts from this direction and comes to this position. Okay, and from this position again you are saying that I need to go to that position. So here in between it will be stuck. Okay, the cursor won't be able to go. So how to go? Like Python won't understand like how to start from -1 and go to let's say up to -4, because from -1 the values can get incremented, but here we are decrementing the values. right? Here we are decrementing the values. You see the integers are getting what, decremented, right? Okay, तुम अगर देख रहे हो तो integers क्या हो रहा है, decrement हो रहा है. So how to perform that, how to go in the back, right? So in order to do that, what we'll do is we need to pass one more parameter like this, that is -1. And yes, the moment we pass -1 over here, you see we get aik, okay, from this direction, aik. Are you getting the point, students? Like how we are getting this value? Is it clear? Like if we need to have the starting position from this, and and at this position, what we need to do is we need to start from this position. Okay, the index position will be -1. We'll give a colon, we'll give the stop value, and here we'll be giving the skip values. Okay, like you need to decrement the value by -1, -1, -1. Okay, that means you are decrementing the values. Okay, so that means it is moving to this direction, but it is decrementing the values, and then it is popping. Are you getting the point, students? If the concept is clear, please type Y in the chat box. So what if we give, if we want to have a I k I a, so in that case we'll give the stop index as -5. We'll give the stop index as -5, and here once again we'll be having -1 as the step values. Okay, why we are having -1 as the step values? Because it will move -1, -1, -1. Okay, it will decrement the values by -1, -1, -1. Okay, so let us execute the code. So the moment I execute the code, you see that AKI. Yes.
Sir, how can it do that, sir? Because the program will have to execute multiple times to decrement. Because you have not used loop, sir. Then how is it executing multiple times?
Yes, this is the power of Python. Okay, so Python handles strings more intelligently when compared with other programming languages. Okay, so these are the operations that can be performed in Python. So that's why we use Python in order to perform the task in a much more easier way. Okay, so there were techniques or there were methods where we used loops in traditional programming languages like C, C++. So there is a concept in Python called comprehensive coding. Comprehensive coding means we need not to write more to execute or to get our tasks done. Just a single operation is done. Okay, since there is a mechanism or Python stores the values in such a way that there are both the indexes, we can utilize these indexes to perform our operations. So the data structure of Python that stores, okay, is same to whatever we have for traditional programming languages. But on top of that, Python interpreters does much more thing in order to manipulate or in order to fetch the values as per as our choice. I hope you're understanding, right? For example, if I need to start from 10, let us try to understand this with an example, with a different example. If I need to start from 10, and if I need to come to this position, that is position number 7. Okay, let's say this is the position number 7. Okay, and let us see if we get something. Okay, so if we execute the code, you see that we don't get anything, because we're starting from this and we are going to this position 7, but it doesn't know how to go, because the cursor or the scanner will understand to go or to move in this direction. So how to tell the scanner or the cursor of Python, like you need to go back, you need to traverse back. So if I need to tell that you need to traverse back, we need to pass one more value, that is the step value. Okay, so the step value will be -1. Okay. So the moment I execute the code, you see I get AIK. Okay, AIK once again. Okay, so yes, the exact syntax to do this is as follows. Okay, start, stop, and step. Okay, start, stop, and step. This is the syntax for this. This will be the string variable, and the string variable will contain the following. Okay, string variable, and within square brackets will be passing the start, stop, and step. Like how many values you want to skip, or by how many values you want to decrement. Okay, great. So let us try to perform one more experiment so that we can understand this concept of string in a much more better way. Okay, so yes, what if I need to skip each and every alternate characters. Let's say मेरे को A चाहिए, फिर L नहीं चाहिए, फिर E चाहिए, फिर X चाहिए, sorry X नहीं चाहिए, फिर space चाहिए. ओके, फिर S नहीं चाहिए, A चाहिए. यानी कि हर एक alternate character को मैं skip करके लाना चाहता हूँ. So how to perform that? If we need to skip each and every alternate characters, and if we need to get the values. Okay, So in order to do that, okay, अगर Alex से मैं हर एक alternate character को skip करूँ, Alex से क्या से अगर हर एक alternate character को skip करूँ, let's see what we are going to get. Okay, so this is the actual value. Let us delete it. Once again, delete this. Okay, so this is the output that we are supposed to get. AEAKA. There will be a space in between. So how to perform that? Let us try to understand. Okay, so yes, we know that there are indexes, there are corresponding indexes for the values. Okay, there are corresponding indexes for the values. What we'll do is we'll be giving here the start value as 0. Okay, then the stop value as 10. Okay, so if we keep it blank, if we keep the stop value position to be as blank, it will automatically detect the stop value and will keep up to 10. Okay, so if we want that the cursor should go up to the last value, okay, or the program should read the characters up to the last index value, then you can keep it as blank. Okay, automatically it will, by default the value of stop value will be 10 in that case. Okay, and here what we'll do is, here we will be passing 2 over here. Okay, so if you execute the code, you see AEAK. Okay, AEAK. Okay, there is a space in between. Okay, here the stop value is kept to be as blank, because if we don't keep it as blank, it won't come to this last position. We know that in order to keep the stop value, the value need to be incremented by 1. We don't have any index 11 over here. Although we can give 11 index, it will able to understand that yes, we are giving a value up to this last character. Okay, so what if we give 11th index as the stop value? Again, we'll give the same output. What if we give this index? Okay, this index practically doesn't exist. Okay, but still it will take the stop value as 10. Okay, see, I'm executing the code, I'm getting the same output. Okay, by 2 we mean that you need not to skip one character. Earlier what it was doing, it was moving one step at a time. That means ये पहला step हो गया, ये दूसरा step, फिर ये step, फिर ये step, ये step, ये step. अभी क्या करेगा? इस step में आया, फिर इसमें आएगा, फिर इसमें आएगा. यानी कि दो step आगे जा रहा है. I hope you are able to understand. Earlier it was moving one step at a time. Now it will move 2 steps at a time. Okay, so the values of the indexes will be incremented by 2. Okay, the values of the indexes will get incremented by 2. That means it is moving 2 steps at a time. So if the method or if the concept of slicing is clear, along with the manipulation of indexes, or along with the manipulation of display of characters with the help of this slicing mechanism is also clear, and also the step value is clear, please type Y in the chat box.
Sir,
Yes, Shashwat.
can we use this concept on numbers also?
Yes, we can use this concept on numbers, but the numerical values need to be stored in a string value.
Double quotes, sir, in double quotes.
In double quotes. It needs to be stored in a string variable. Okay. So if you are need to if you are performing some sort of operation like this, in that case we have to store the numerical values in the string values, because in that case once again the numerical digits will be treated as string values. Okay, in that case once again the numerical digits will be treated as string values. Okay, because whenever we talk about numerical values, okay, let us try to understand. Very good question, so that we can with the help of this question I will be able to explain you the difference between string and numerical data type. Okay, see, there is a contrasting difference between numerical value and a string value. Okay, so if I have a numerical value, let's say num. Okay, num is a numerical value which is supposed to store, let's say, a phone number of a person. Let's say 87123 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. Okay, I hope there are 10 digits. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. Okay, one is extra. Okay, so this is the numerical value that is going to store by num. Okay, that num is going to store. So what if we print the ID of num? Okay, that means what we are doing, we are printing the memory address of num. And what if I try to get num square bracket of zeros? Okay, so see that it is already showing that, okay, ignore class int does not define get item. It means what? We won't be able to get individual items with the help of this index position values. Okay, so if I execute the code, you see I'm getting an error. Okay, so what I need to do is I need to just skip it. Okay, so we won't be able to access values with the help of indexes in the case of numerical values. But if we print the ID of this num, you see that there is an ID, there is the memory address. Okay. So what exactly this memory address is doing? This memory address is storing the entire integer in this address, not like string. What string was doing? String was storing every character individually in a memory address. And once again, what it was doing, it was storing the entire consolidated value in a separate address. Okay, unlike string, numerical data type is storing the entire string value in a single memory location. Although string variable is also doing that, but for the individual characters, it is once again taking a separate memory location. Okay. So yes, if you need to check palindrome basically means reversing of string. Okay, we'll get to that. Okay, since this was all about slicing operation. Okay, since I was telling that in order to understand the concept of reversing a string, we need to understand the slicing operation. Okay, so if the slicing operation is clear, now we are good to go with the reversing of string. Okay, so yes, after that you can use if and else, but first we need to understand how to perform the reversing of string. Shashwat, I'm answering to your question. Okay, like you can use the if else statement, but before we need to understand how to reverse the string, okay? So that we can check whether it is a palindrome or not. Okay, so those who doesn't know what exactly palindrome is, palindromes are those words of which after reversing also they mean the same thing. For example, mom, mom को तुम उल्टा से पढ़ो mom ही रहने वाला, राइट? समझ में आ रहा है? Like 101 को उल्टा पढ़ो तो 101 ही रहने वाला, वो चेंज नहीं होने वाला. Okay, if the concept of palindrome is clear, type P in the chat box. Students, if the concept of palindrome is clear, type P in the chat box. Palindrome यानी कि कोई भी कैरेक्टर, कोई भी सेंटेंस, कोई भी वर्ड है, उसे तुम उल्टा पढ़ोगे तो तुम्हें सेम मीनिंग देखने को मिलेगा या फिर सेम मीनिंग तुम्हें देखने को मिलेगा, उसका मीनिंग चेंज नहीं हो जाएगा उस वर्ड का, राइट? ओके, इसका मीनिंग इंटैक्ट रहने वाला है. ओके, सो हाउ, बट नॉट टू परफॉर्म द पैलिंड्रोम, फर्स्ट वी नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड हाउ टू परफॉर्म द रिवर्सिंग ऑफ स्ट्रिंग. ये तो समझ में आ गया था कि हमको कैसे स्लाइसिंग से या फिर कैसे इंडेक्स वैल्यू से हम लोग एक पर्टिकुलर एंटायर स्ट्रिंग में से एक छोटा चंक को उठा के लेके आए, बट रिवर्सिंग कैसे करें? ठीक है, रिवर्सिंग करने के लिए स्टार्ट वैल्यू कुछ नहीं देना है, स्टॉप वैल्यू कुछ नहीं देना है. ओके, स्टार्ट वैल्यू शुड बी ब्लैंक, स्टॉप वैल्यू शुड बी ब्लैंक, ओनली द स्टेप वैल्यू शुड बी -1, ओनली द स्टेप वैल्यू शुड बी -1. तो जैसे इसे एग्जीक्यूट करेंगे तो देखो उल्टा हो गया अपना स्ट्रिंग. ठीक है, अपना स्ट्रिंग उल्टा हो गया. जिनको थोड़ा सा ये कॉम्प्लिकेटेड लग रहा है ना, तो थोड़ा सा एक सिंपल स्ट्रिंग की मदद से देखते हैं. लेट्स से एप्पल. ओके, इसे एग्जीक्यूट करेंगे तो देखो ELPP. ठीक है, सो हाउ एग्जैक्टली इट इज वर्किंग कि हमने स्टॉप वैल्यू भी कुछ नहीं दिया, हमने स्टार्ट वैल्यू भी कुछ नहीं दिया, बट सिर्फ स्टेप वैल्यू -1 दिया. तो समझते हैं, फिर से वापस इस एक्सेल शीट में आ जाते हैं, राइट? एंड लेट अस कम टू दिस पोजीशन. सी, if we don't pass the start value, then definitely the start value is to be taken as 0, and if we don't pass the stop value, the stop value will be taken as 10. Okay, and if we pass the step value, please try to understand, the moment we pass the step value, okay, what it will do, it will decrement, it will start from this position and it will start decrementing the value until and unless it reaches the initial position or the initial index value. Okay, इसलिए हम लोगों ने स्टॉप वैल्यू -1 दिया हुआ है. तो यानी कि क्या, यानी कि यहां तक तो पहुंच जाएगा कर्सर. देखो कैसे होने वाला है, कर्सर यहां से स्टार्ट करने वाला है, एंड द कर्सर will come to this position. Now I'm telling the cursor, hey Mr. Cursor, go to the initial position, but this time how you will be going? You will be going by decrementing the values. Okay, understood. So this time the cursor will read like this. Okay, this time the cursor will read like this. Okay, I hope you are understanding. स्टार्टिंग में मैंने ऐसे तो चला, मैंने कर्सर को लेके गया, फिर मैंने क्या बोला कि नाउ स्टार्ट रीडिंग द इंडेक्सेस लाइक दिस, so it will automatically reverse the value. Okay, so that's it for today's class. Thank you so much students for attending this class. In the next class what we'll do is we'll write a legitimate program to check whether a particular string is palindrome or not. Okay, and we'll be moving on with the other data types.